individual. So you're getting this really, really high-class individual person at performing at insane levels. And then you put them on a field together, and of course, they're blowing each other up, right? Whereas you look back to like 1980 or something, and a star tight end's like 180 pounds, and he's 5'10".
Yeah.
Like, you would just never see that on the field now. So
Sure.
how do sports programs, how do collegiate strength and conditioning programs, NFL, NBA programs accommodate this change in the athlete, the training programs, without adjusting, I don't know, let's say like the rule set that's going to deter people from wanting to be there in the first place?
Sure. So, and just to follow up, exactly to your point, to be very, very clear, it's the physics have changed, right?
Yeah.
Force is mass times acceleration, so everyone's bigger and everyone's faster. Bigger collisions, faster cuts, so on and so forth, which will lead to higher impacts and more non-contact injuries.
Right.
That's for sure. I think the biggest problem is this. The off-season is not long enough. So, so you know this about periodization, right?
Yeah.
The idea is to, okay, well, the classic, we'll, build a foundational phase, and then we're going to go to, a little bit more complex, and we'll go strength, and then we're going to go power, right? That we repeat the process, or, so on and so forth. Well, if we do some math on that, like, how long do you think it takes to go through one cycle? 9 months? Right? Maybe if they're a really good athlete, you might be able to get through it sooner, maybe 6 months, maybe 5 months. Well, what's the off season for these guys?
It's like 3 months.
Yeah, it's like 2.
Nothing.
It's like, like 2 to 3 months. Right. So the reality is they're actually not able to get through true periodization. So there's not really enough time to build everything and then go out and perform, if that kind of makes sense.
But that doesn't really address the physics problem, though, too, because let's say you drew that out in the off season, and then they got through their full periodization, and then were even bigger, faster, stronger. Do you do anything on? I guess now I'm thinking more of like a prehab rehab side. Is there anything that you can do to a joint or a joint action that better prepares DeAndre Hopkins getting clobbered in the backfield by a safety? Like, how do you address that concern? Yeah. Or do you just kind of take the L as the team and go, okay, we're going into the season, we got a roster of X amount of guys, we're going to lose 6 of them. Hopefully it's not our star players.
Sure. So I'll try to answer this question as efficiently as possible, and I'm not saying that I have the perfect answer either, because physics are physics. But number one is, and I've only trained, about 15, maybe 16 professional athletes. So I'm not the NFL strength coach who's over his career has trained 250, NFL players, right? But you know how much powerlifting I do with my pro athletes? 0. I do none. Okay. Again, a part of that is because of the periodization, but 2 is because my greater concern is the quality of tissue, right? Mm-hmm. So you talk about something like hamstring issues, or let's talk about that ACL tear, right? So like the ACL tear from non-contact comes from when you jam your foot in the ground, right? And that tibia and the fibula slide away from each other, right? And so what's going to prevent that? Well, the quality of the tissue in your foot will prevent that, because it not only creates propulsory forces, it also accepts ground force. So if it can't accept ground force, okay, it goes up the chain. Then you have the ankle, okay? Then it goes up to the calf, right? One of the most common things with ACL injuries, does the fibular head move, right? So you have your tibia, you have your fibula, and the fibula has to spin, right? If the fibula can't spin and you plant, where's all that force go? Right to the knee joint.
Right.
There's your ACL tear.